Welcome one and all to the Cinegeeks Podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Roy, still joined by my lovely co-host Angela.
Hello.
Hey Angela. So for today's episode, we will be still talking about a movie that recently came out, but we will be also shedding a little bit of light. The absence. We took a little bit of a break. And but before that, we'll be talking about the movie for this week is A Haunting in Venice, directed by Kenneth Branagh, written by Michael Green, based on characters by Agatha Christie. And this movie has a very stacked cast, if I may. Of course, including the man himself, Kenneth Branagh, still as Hercule Poirot, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Dornan, among others.
Yeah. But before we continue, we'd like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Yes. Don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations.
And of course, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Threads, X aka Twitter, and Instagram so you can join in on the Cinegeeks conversation.
Yes, and while you're at it, why don't you leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also a thumbs up on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you absolutely enjoyed this episode. That absolutely helps us out. So thank you very much in advance for doing so.
Yeah.
All right. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about A Haunting in Venice. In post-World War II Venice, Poirot, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a séance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. Okay, another addition to the Hercule Poirot cinematic universe.
HPCU.
HPC, yes. First one being Murder on the Orient Express.
Classic.
Yes, and of course, Death on the Nile. A bit unwieldy.
Yeah, it's under the radar.
True. But in terms of the movie itself, a little bit unwieldy but still entertaining, nonetheless. But for this specific one, Ange, what did you think of A Haunting in Venice?
Well, first off, let me just say my thoughts about the movie itself without, comparing to the previous two films. A Haunting in Venice, I think it was very by the book. Pun intended. It's as by the book as you can get when it comes to murder mystery. All the basic hallmarks of a murder mystery is there. There were no deviations really from the basic foundation of how a murder mystery works. The only thing I liked is, Agatha Christie really injecting herself in the story. It's like a meta reference. But overall, it's a bit underwhelming. I have to, compare it to the previous ones because, in itself, it was very basic. And comparing it to the first two, it was let down for me. The reveal was, it was surprising without getting into spoilers. But the scares, especially it promises to be, a horror film. The trailer really, gets it across. There were jump scares in the trailer even, right? But yeah, overall, for a horror film enthusiast like myself, not so scary. How about you?
Well, personally, I will have to disagree with what you said. Although there were a lot of things that you hit the nail on the head, especially when it comes to it being, I wouldn't say underwhelming, because if it were a standard murder mystery, I think it would function more along the lines of the second movie, the second installment in this quote-unquote
HBCU
trilogy, yes, where it was just about trying to find out who killed...
Who done it?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, it was Gal Gadot who was the victim in the second movie. So it was just about finding out who killed her. For me, I really didn't go into the movie expecting that it would fully lean into the horror tropes or the horror genre itself. It might be pulling some elements and then adding it onto the murder mystery side of the story. But what I appreciated with the film itself is how it lent the supernatural overall theme of the proceedings, how it lent to a certain level of dread and unease to the entire film itself. Of course, we're dealing with Hercule Poirot here, and he still, believes that everything can be explained. And eventually, I mean, with every Hercule Poirot story, everything becomes explained.
Yeah.
But there are some parts here that make him question what he believes, the facts that he collects from the characters that he interviews throughout the film. And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually a part there that somewhat implies that something supernatural helps him move forward with his investigation. So I guess if you're gonna look at it from the perspective of someone expecting, something like a horror thriller, unfortunately, you might be disappointed. But if you're gonna look at it like, wow, exactly what it is, the murder mystery element of it that has a dash of supernatural elements, not necessarily horror, then you might be pleasantly surprised with how this movie goes. The only thing that I can really say that's quote-unquote negative about this, and it's not really a negative, is that it's actually a bit too short.
It really was, right?
It was. If I'm not mistaken...
What's the runtime?
The runtime of this film it's 103 minutes. So it's 1 hour and 43 minutes.
That's quite short.
It's very short. It's
for the industry norm nowadays.
Well, there are some films that, can benefit from having a runtime that long. Examples would be Past Lives. You don't need to make a story very, very. Don't need to make a story that's padded with unnecessary convolutions or added characters, added dialogue, scenes.
But you see, in Past Lives, there are only 3 characters.
Exactly.
So you don't really need the convoluted plot,
you
right?
Don't need
but
the long runtime. Yes.
In a murder mystery, in an Agatha Christie murder mystery, there are a lot of persons of interest.
Exactly.
That you need to explore. So you need more time to flesh them out, right? They have to peel it layer by layer.
Yeah. The first movie in the series, or Murder on the Orient Express, is 114 minutes. So that's 1 hour and 54 minutes, yes. And then the next one was 127, so that's 2 hours and 7 minutes. If this movie had 10 to 15 more minutes to play around with its obfuscations, the way that it hid the facts that the clues that the audiences are collecting from the movie, then we might have had a bit more time having fun with the characters. And you're right when you said earlier that in a movie like this, there's a lot of people that need to be interviewed.
Yeah.
So that, you get the facts. When you watch a movie like this, you're not just in it for, the story to tell you what's happening. No, you're quote unquote playing along with it.
Case in point, only murders in the building.
Yes, only murders in the building. Yes. But in this kind of movie, for it to have that very short runtime, it feels like it's trying to run to the finish line.
Yeah. The ending was so rushed.
Yes, exactly. It's disappointing because the premise itself was a solid premise. It's a murder mystery where the lead investigator, has to question his own senses and the facts that he's collecting, because there might be something more than the facts that he's seeing. For someone like him who believes in science, and that anything, even the supernatural, can be explained.
You know what? I just have to point it out because it's quite funny when you come to think of it. A murder mystery, a whodunit story with supernatural elements. What does it sound like? Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yes. I mean, in that regard, you can say that there is a bit of Scooby-Doo mystery elements here.
Right?
I'm not gonna spoil for the people who haven't seen it yet. But you're right. There's I don't think we're spoiling it when I say this. Okay, there are actually two mysteries at work here. See, even that fact that there's just more than one mystery in the movie. Why will you water it down with a very short runtime?
It's a Scooby-Doo double episode.
It's supposed to feel like a double episode. It's funny because if they really wanted to work with a mystery that had a shortened runtime, I might say that Death on the Nile could have benefited from this shorter runtime.
True. There's not much there to explore.
If they had flipped the runtimes of the two movies, it could have benefited both, because for the other one, for Death of the Nile, the 2 hours and 7 minutes runtime felt it got to a point where you just felt the thing, just dragging its feet.
Well, maybe in the first half, it was really,
It was exciting,
enjoying its horror theme.
No, I was just referring to Death on the Nile first.
Oh, the Death on the Nile, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Death on the Nile, that happens in a cruise ship, right? There's not much there to explore, and
And there are no other elements that compound the mystery itself. It's just a standard finding out who killed who. Killed this person. So there's no need to devote so much of the runtime to the background lives of the characters in the movie. Because if I'm not mistaken, the reason why the film took so long is because we had to devote runtime to knowing who Gal Gadot's character was.
True.
Who Armie Hammer's character was. And then who, what's the name of the girl in Sex Education? The one here?
Emma Mackey,
yes. We had to devote a bit of runtime into knowing who they are.
Yeah.
But, if I may, it's better if the facts just came out while they were being questioned. We didn't need to see them, to have 15-20 minutes of the movie telling us that they were friends before this fateful cruise. We didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
But I guess
it needed those minutes for exposition.
Yeah. And I guess it's because you have to make it worth every penny paid to Gal Gadot. If you have her in the movie, you have to feature her for as many minutes as you can.
But one thing I can say about A Haunting in Venice that's better than Death on the Nile is Tina Fey.
Yes. It's funny because we watched this movie after we started watching
Only Murders in the Building.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
Where this is not really a spoiler. Tina Fey in Only Murders in the Building portrays the podcaster that inspires the three lead characters
to do a murder mystery podcast.
To record their own murder mystery podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
Her name there was Cinda Canning.
Yeah.
Yes. So we didn't really know what her character would be like going into A Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
So when we finally saw it, it was funny because it was almost exactly like her character in the show.
Ariadne Oliver.
Yeah, or of course Agatha Christie. her alter ego in the books, so to speak.
It's true. They even share the same first name initial.
A, yes, that's right. So yeah, I was disappointed that we didn't really spend so much time with a lot of the characters. There were a lot of interactions that felt really perfunctory. Like we just needed to spend 5 to 6 minutes with them just for the sake of getting their quote unquote facts in for the investigation. But we didn't spend time with them more in the context of how they are experiencing the misery of the mystery along with the other characters.
In order to study their, motive.
Yes, exactly. There's this character here portrayed by Kelly O'Reilly. We don't really spend so much time with her aside from her introduction, few minutes, and then when she's interviewed by Hercule Poirot, another few minutes, and then all of a sudden the movie just dumps more information on us about her that we could have inferred had we spent more time dealing with her emotions or her reaction to the mystery that she was involved in.
Yeah, they just dumped it in the end.
Exactly. That's where I felt like 10 to 15 more minutes would have benefited this movie. Spending more time with her character, with Jamie Dornan's character, with
the Gal Gadot treatment.
Yes. They should have treated these central characters the way they treated Gal Gadot's character in the second Poirot movie.
Even in the first one with Johnny Depp, right?
Yes. Johnny Depp was he was killed right away at the beginning of the film, but you see him coming back according to how these characters saw him.
Yeah, we don't just see him again in the end.
No.
Just to tell his side of the story.
Exactly. His presence looms over the entire investigation. So the best thing for the movie to do is for him to act like a ghost, so to speak.
Which is more fitting because it's a haunting, right? They should be haunted by her.
Exactly. I think, they took the criticisms of the last film to heart, where critics, audience members said that the movie was too long,
too much Gal Gadot,
too much filler, too much information exposition that didn't really benefit the mystery. Whereas here, the movie could have been served better by having more time to flesh out who these suspects are, why they did it, what their emotional states were. So that the ending would have felt more satisfying. That's end of rant. Sorry.
Yeah, but they also had Michelle Yeoh in the movie.
Yes.
I could have had more of her as well.
Yes. It's funny because her character is central to like first 2/3 or first half of the movie. And then
without spoiling anything.
And then for the second half of the movie, she's still an important part of the story, but we don't really see her actively playing a part in the story anymore. I mean, there's a way to do it, without, ham-fisting her presence into the proceedings.
Exactly.
Especially when, you're dealing with, again, a murder mystery that is very, the very central tenet of a murder mystery is fact collecting or fact finding. So she could have featured more in that fact finding part of the story. That's how I felt about this.
Yeah.
I could have spent more time with them.
Yeah, there are characters that you could have spent more time with, and there are also characters that the story could have survived without.
Yeah,
the brother and sister character here, I don't really see their significance in the story.
The movie tried to make them a significant part.
Yeah.
Possibly as a misdirect, I guess. I don't know. But you could have used someone else, someone more central to the story if you're going to employ someone in that misdirect role.
But honestly, this is an Agatha Christie movie. I mean, this is an Agatha Christie story. I don't know how far or how much they've, stayed faithful to the source
story.
Material. But
true.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, a little trivia. Ariadne Oliver is a recurring character in the Agatha Christie bibliography universe.
So
How do you call
Agatha
that?
Christie is
Ariadne Oliver. It's her.
yes, she's a part of her own stories.
Yeah. She's her avatar, if you may.
Well, I don't want to really, dump on this movie too much because there are a lot of things that the movie did very, very well. Of course, Kenneth Branagh still knocks it out of the park, both as an actor and a director. I don't know of anyone better working both roles sometimes at the same time. The cinematography is second to none. Of course, you have a bit of a cheat code when it comes to the setting, which is Venice. It's impossible to shoot Venice poorly. So it's just an added bonus that the cinematographer of the film, if I'm not mistaken, is still Haris Zambarlocos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He is still the cinematographer of the series, starting from Murder on the Orient Express. Still shoots the hell out of this one, and I like the added bonus of him using Dutch angles to accentuate the mystery and the added supernatural flair of the movie itself. If you notice, there were some scenes that were shot diagonally, the Dutch angles.
Yeah.
That added to the uncertainty and the unease that the audience felt. I felt while watching this film.
That's right.
And the music itself as well by Hildur Gudnadottir. Okay, very very subtle, but it's there. It's just ushering the movie along as if death, bringing the victim of the murder mystery here down the river Styx.
By the way, Hildur Gudnadottir also did the score for Joker.
Yes.
Where she won the Academy Award for Best Original Score, as well as BAFTA and Golden Globe.
Much deserved.
Also, Chernobyl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, she specializes in the kind of score that really doesn't pop, not like the Zimmer or Williams types of score, or even their modern day equivalents, the Goran Sons or the Giacchinos. She's more like Carter Burwell, where the music itself is very very subdued.
Yeah.
It's not
understated.
It's very understated. It's not really trying to steal the movie, but that's just there enough for you to feel it, and just enough for you to know that the story itself is moving along with this music in the background. But it's not invisible. It's not. It's there. You can feel it, but it doesn't overstay its presence.
You know what I always say about horror films is a huge chunk of the horror effect lies on the scoring and the sound design.
Yes.
So all the best jump scares and the horrifying scenes, case in point is Oppenheimer. Yeah, it really has a very visceral effect on you if done right.
Yes. I mean, Oppenheimer, of course, is a very different movie from, a horror film. But I get what you're saying, where the music itself is absolutely propulsive and kinetic.
And also, it gets your hairs on end.
Yes. I think I know the part that you're saying.
Yeah.
The scene in the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Good music and good sound design can definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, that's it for me with The Haunting in Venice. I want to see more of this series. I'm enjoying my time watching the Hercule Poirot character on screen. I think Kenneth Branagh has already made this role his own, and not just the role itself, but his trademark, his fingerprints as a director is everywhere in the movies that he's made for this character, and I really want to see more of it. What about you?
Yeah, I think if this is a TV series, Haunting in Venice is like a filler episode for me. If it's an episodic TV show.
And okay, any final thoughts about this aside from that?
Aside from that, I can honestly say that, yeah, for me, final thoughts, it's a bit anticlimactic and underwhelming. The movie just feels like a meandering gondola ride than a white knuckle thriller.
Okay. Sorry, you were gonna say something? Sorry?
It's the filler episode in the Agatha Christie TV show.
True. For me, it was a very stylishly directed addition to the Poirot cinematic universe, as I'd like to call it. But it would have benefited more from having more meat added to the bone of an already delicious meal. That's for me. Anything else to add?
Other than that, the only redeeming thing about this movie is I saw it in one of the best cinemas I've ever been in.
Yes. So now we get to the part of this episode where we talk a bit about our week of rest and relaxation. I don't think you would call it relaxation because we did nothing but walk and walk nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in the streets of Hong Kong.
Yes. So anyway, we went to Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago. Stayed there for a few days. And of course, we did the common things that tourists are quote-unquote required to do when you're in Hong Kong, like going to Hong Kong Disneyland. We went to the Peak.
Yeah.
We rode the Peak tram.
Madame Tussauds.
Went to Madame Tussauds, yes. And what other things we did? We ate so much delicious food. Dim sum. Not to mention our first taste of Five Guys burger.
Yeah, we don't have that in the Philippines.
No Five Guys here in the Philippines, but the absolutely delicious Five Guys bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah. Baka naman. Five Guys.
Yes. So if there are any of you listening that are working for the companies that franchise international restaurants here
maybe
locally.
Bistro Group. Baka naman.
Please. Five Guys. I really, it blew my mind how Five Guys not just serves the best burgers, but how they serve their French fries.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was just not really a joke, but I thought it was something that they just did in the States, where if you haven't tried the Five Guys fries, the way that they serve it is they don't put it in like the usual cardboard stand-up container, like what we have here in McDonald's and other fast food franchises in the Philippines. They put it in a tall paper cup, okay? And in that tall paper cup goes inside a large paper bag.
Yeah.
And then that large paper bag gets filled up until half of the cup itself with more French fries.
Yeah. I don't know how much French fries were in that brown bag, to be honest.
It's funny because when the last time we ate Five Guys, before we watched Haunting in Venice, by the way, we'll get to where we watched it in a moment. We had a couple of dudes to my right, to your left. When they ate, they sat down, their paper bag was ripped wide open. And then
they treated it as the plate.
That was the plate. The mountain of French fries that came out. And the funny thing is, those were the regular fries. I shudder to think of how much French fries they would give us if we ordered the large French fries.
Up to our necks.
They'd give us one entire paper bag filled with fries.
Isn't it funny that we went to Hong Kong and the thing that blew your mind was Five Guys, an American burger joint?
Yeah. But there was also one more. Another, this time is a local chain that not really blew my mind the way Five Guys did, because of course that's the fast food carnivore in me getting overwhelmed.
Also, Chinese in Hong Kong restaurants are quite common here in the Philippines. We eat them. They're everywhere.
Of course, yes. Our two cultures are intertwined, so to speak.
True.
But there's this one chain that we actually stumbled upon, not really sought out. We accidentally found it on our way to looking for another place called This Rice. Okay? Now, just to paint a picture for you, Cinegeeks, this rice is in the Philippines what we would call like a turo-turo.
Yeah,
okay?
or a
point,
karinderya.
Or a karinderya. Eatery. You would point which viands you'd want or entrees you'd want to, be put on your styro container. And
you have a choice of 2 viands or 3 viands,
yes.
and then rice.
So that's why it's this rice, because you this, and then the rice.
This viand, and then rice.
Rice. Yes. And
clever.
The styro container was huge.
It was.
I mean, and then the serving of the grandma and the grandpa working at the this rice branch that we went to at Jervois Street in Shing Wan, in Hong Kong Island. They were so nice. They were very pleasant, and they put mountains of meat in the styrofoam container.
True.
And all of it was for the rough equivalent of about 250 pesos or about
30 Hong Kong dollars.
30 Hong Kong dollars or about $5 US.
Yeah, and just add how much for drinks?
$5 more.
Yeah.
For a can of Coke. So $35 all in all.
It was so awesome.
It was not just because the food was delicious, which it absolutely was.
And it was also cheap.
But it was cheap. And that's what made it more awesome. So,
but the most awesome part of it was so delicious.
Yes. I didn't really take time to ask them what the names were of the viands that we ate.
Yeah.
But from what I can surmise, I think it was something of like it tasted like humba.
Beef brisket.
Yeah, something like that. So beef brisket is,
and then there was also something that tastes like chicken curry.
Yeah, I think that was the one that you got.
And also roast pork.
Yeah, the char siu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for $35 and a huge heaping serving of 2 viands, and then huge heaping serving of rice. Super, in the Filipino language, we call it sulit. Or roughly translated, very much worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really was.
Really was. So those are the two ends of the awesome spectrum in terms of food.
You know what? It's also on the far side of the common tourist traps. It's not really in the main roads. We walked to the side streets of central Hong Kong to find that place.
Yes.
We actually stumbled upon that place.
Yes, we were actually looking for an establishment that sold physical media, Blu-rays, DVDs, audio CDs, even vinyls. They were selling there. It was so refreshing to see a store selling physical media again.
Yeah, I even asked him, "Can you open a branch in Manila?"
Yes, we begged him to bring his store over to the Philippines. But seriously though, it's a welcome, albeit a bit emotional, sight to see, because we last had a physical media store here in the Philippines before the pandemic hit. 2019.
And then they all closed.
And then they all closed at the same time. And then when business came back,
was that Astro Plus?
Astro Plus,
Odyssey.
I think I'm missing something. Yeah, I think I'm forgetting one more, but I think there's also one more. Yeah. So those were the big chains, the Odyssey Records and Astro Plus or Astrovision.
Astrovision.
Yes. But when business came back after the pandemic subsided, they didn't,
they weren't able to survive.
They weren't able to survive. So, being able to just peruse through rows and rows and rows of DVDs and Blu-rays again.
Yeah, you were such a happy kid. You were like in Legoland.
I know. It's like what do you call this place?
The Chocolate Factory.
No, it's like a pilgrimage stop for people who love collecting movies on physical media, especially nowadays where it's just streaming nonstop. That's king of everything. Digital media.
Everything is on the cloud.
Yes, and it's sad because most people don't know this. But the trade-off that you have for the ease of access in getting these movies on streaming or even purchasing them on the digital way like iTunes or Google Play Movies is that you're not really purchasing the movie itself. You're purchasing a license to temporarily own those movies or paying for temporary access monthly if you have Netflix or Disney Plus. But when they take away the access that you have to those movies, there's nothing you can do. So, still owning physical media is the best way to go. And when Oppenheimer came out, Christopher Nolan visited this very famous video store in France. I forgot the name, but it came from his own mouth that the only director's cut that's considered nowadays is physical media. So if you're able to own a copy of the movie that you love, that's already the director's cut itself, because there are a lot of instances where movies that come out on streaming are still being edited after the fact. Case in point are the Star Wars movies. The first Star Wars movie came out in 1977. The VHS copies and Betamax copies came out shortly after that. And then when the special edition came out in 1997, the big hullabaloo of it all was George Lucas finally having access to the technology that he didn't have in 1977 to create these wonderful special effects. But in actuality, some of the magic of the movies that he made was lost because of the quote-unquote improvements he made. So when the physical release or the first DVD release of the movie came out in 2004, he made more changes to it. And then when the Blu-ray release of the Star Wars trilogy, the original one, came out in 2011, he made more changes. And then when the Star Wars movies finally got uploaded to Disney Plus, the changes did not stop. So you're not able to keep a copy of the movie as you enjoyed it if you're just going to depend on streaming or digital sources for your film. If you really want to, have a keepsake of your favorite film in a specific moment in time, I highly recommend collecting movies in either DVD or still, Blu-ray. Sorry, and physical media rant over. Sorry. So we'll get to where we saw A Haunting in Venice. Okay. Why don't you lead us into that, Ange?
Yeah, we went to MCL Cinemas in K11 Museum Mall.
Yes.
One of the best cinematic experiences I've ever had.
One of the best malls in the world, period.
Best cinema in one of the best malls in the world. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The screen was so very lit. I haven't seen that much color in a movie screen before. How I wish SM Cinema or Ayala Cinemas can, at least aim for that.
It's funny because the price of a movie ticket there is considerably more expensive than the price of a ticket here. But that the amount of money you're paying watching a movie there absolutely goes towards the theater chain, MCL, taking care of its facilities.
And also, it was a regular cinema. It wasn't even IMAX, but it looks like IMAX to me. That's how IMAX looks here in the Philippines. Mm. Not even close, actually. Mm. Yeah. It's almost like IMAX.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess that's it for this episode.
Cinegeeks, if you've seen this movie, please share with us what you thought about it. Comment it on our social media. Again, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X at CinegeeksPod.
Again, don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our absolutely interesting Cinegeek conversations.
Also, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Threads, X, and Instagram so you can join in on the Cinegeeks conversation.
While you're at it, why don't you leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and a thumbs up on YouTube if you really enjoyed this episode.
For my co-host Troy, this has been Angela. Thank you for listening to the Cinegeeks Podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.